clutch. Yo, what's up? You're back at the
Yo,
Downstem. What up, Andy?
it's good.
Yo, my guy Andrew Smith. You might know him from Sunny Sands. You might know him from Discord. I know him from here. So let's get his story. Andy, what's up, bro?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
Dude, doing good. You're coming fresh off your on-chain chopper drop.
Yes, I did. Uh,
Congrats, congrats.
Launched that last night. It was uh, it was fun. It was kind of a bit of spaces on Twitter, and we had this guy. He goes by the name Chopper. It's an anonymous name. He's kind of what they call like a disruptor in the space. Um, everybody there is kind of about like decentralization and stuff like that, and so
Most definitely.
I've been in a few communities, and I decided that I wanted to launch a collection just like on a whim. I did it like in about 2 weeks time.
Dude, that's
uh,
crazy because I didn't know anything about it. You weren't like, I got something coming. You were just like, yo, really quickly, it's coming.
yeah, I just dropped you the link.
Damn, we didn't
Uh,
introduce Baxter. Shout out
oh
Baxter. You
yeah.
might know him from the dog park. You might know him from Instagram. Hey, Baxt, what's up, buddy? All right. He was definitely feeling left out. But yeah, so you sent me the link and you were like, yo, I'm dropping this.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody about it. There was only a few people who really knew what was going on. The people that were kind of helping me out, and it kind of all went really fast. And
Dude, I bet.
uh, I knew that you had a wallet, and I was like, you need to mint this if you want. Uh, to have one of the first pieces that I dropped. I don't know if I'll ever drop anything like for myself. This collection wasn't even. I didn't even make any money off the mint.
What was your motivation for it?
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, we had a gentleman by the name of Vitor, and he works for Save the Children, and he was on a spaces with us, and he was kind of just going over the story of how like hard it is for a child to even reach the age of 1, and uh, and then like how hard it is
Dark.
for a child to reach the age of 5. Like the odds severely decrease, and so um,
Throughout the world or just like,
yeah, throughout the world, right? So this
that's
is
crazy.
a global kind of thing, and so they work with people all over the world, and their goal is to decrease the amount of lives that are lost each day. And I think like the number is somewhere. It used to be like right around like 24,000 children die before the age of like 5, like every day. Uh,
Dude, that's crazy.
yeah. So when he first started, and so they've kind of they've been working on decreasing that, and I'm in this project. It's called On Chain Kevin, and this guy launched it maybe about 7 months ago, and he created this application where it's like a no code app where you could create the art and put it completely on the blockchain forever using his app. And so they
Well, that's
just,
cool.
yeah, they just recently incorporated like they incorporated a system where you could connect the charity of your choices to the smart contract. So when I deployed it, um, uh,
That's revolutionary.
yeah, Indelible Labs is the company, and they get 2.5% of the mint, just like as their general rule of thumb. And so the other 97.5%, if it mints out, is going to go to Save the Children, and they'll get an ETH amount of 2.889 ETH, which is roughly around like maybe $5,000 right now, somewhere close to there, uh, maybe $4,000. But
Bro, that's definitely something more than, like, hey, we're putting a little donation cup. Like, no, we raised 5 G's
yeah,
off of
so
minting
yeah,
a
so the
cool
collection, you'll
NFT.
love this. The collection is 420 pieces.
I saw that. I was hyped when I was loading. I was like, hey, my
Uh, the,
guy.
the mint price was 0.0069. You know, and
A very common number in the space.
of course, and so yeah, so if it mints out completely, we'll raise roughly 3 ETH, and so uh, three, and so it's we've already sold close to 150 NFTs already. So uh, we're about 33% of the way. We've already raised close to an ETH, I would say, for Save the Children already, and it's gone directly into their account as soon as one piece gets minted. So
Dude, that's cool. So it's just automatically
yep, it goes right
written
away.
into
As
the
soon as one's
contract.
minted, it goes right to the Save the Children Ethereum address wallet. So
Dude, that's so cool because, like, again, it gives people a new way, like a new way to help out, and
yeah,
it's hard to generate income or donations right now, especially in this economy. But like in the crypto space, there's still a lot of good being done because the overall good is like better than
so and the reason why it's so important is because of the time and you know and how quickly we can get them the funds. So before blockchain technology, there's a huge process, right? Um, the check needs to get signed. It needs to get approved by
the
so
funds
and
have to
so.
be there.
Yep, and it needs to get mailed. You know what I mean? You can't just go down to the bank and say, "Here's the check." It gets mailed. So the time in which that the blockchain allows for these money transfers to happen is within seconds, right? And so that's just like how important it is. And so the one thing that's happened throughout my kind of like Web3 experience is uh, the one thing that I've experienced is through a community that I'm in called On Chain Monkey. Um, they are an NFT project that is doing good and doing well, right, for humanity.
Dude, you're super behind on Chain Monkey. I
For
see you
for
in a lot
for
of spaces
side,
with them.
yeah, yep. I mean, I'm even rocking the hat right now.
Oh, you
So
see it? It's a sick hat.
and I wear it every day. So what they were able to do was, create this NFT collection, and they, do in real life good things for people and humanity and stuff like that. And so when there's a couple things they've done that are really amazing, and I'll just go through them real quickly. But when
No,
the
most
war
definitely shut him out.
when the war it kind of like when the kind of pushback in Afghanistan, when the Taliban took over, most recently, I don't know if you're familiar with the Afghan girl Sharbat Gula, but
Yeah,
she's
she was
an
all over
Afghan girl.
social. She was all over everywhere.
Yep, the green eyes Afghan girl. Well, anyways, when the Taliban took over, she had a mark on her head, and it was they wanted to go after her because she's a female icon who stood, for a lot of different things, and
But
so
in direct opposition to them, really.
yeah, and so and me, my best friend's Afghan. Their family is my family, and so it really hit home with me. And so what they were able to do is they were the funding mechanism to get the funds to be able to fly her, get her passport secured, fly her out of the country, and they were able to do that in a timely manner where before it just wouldn't be able to be possible. And so that
There
was
was
really
no way
big.
you could verify it and get it to her in real time, like now, not send it to them and tell them to call them. It's in her wallet. She can operate with it. She can move you know it's her wallet because it's verifiable on chain, and
Well, yeah, it was the government who it was a third party government who was able to make it happen, and so they went through the appropriate channels. So that was one, and then the second one that was really big was when Russia invaded Ukraine. They created a small NFT collection that was going directly um, to whoever the community decided to it went to, right? So the NFT collection raised over $150,000. It was closer to like 185, and they were able to have our community vote as a DAO, as a decentralized autonomous organization, where collectively we were able to, decide where the money went, and so we ended up giving that money to Save the Children initially. So right away, this is another reason why I was picked Save the Children to be a part of my project.
yeah, most definitely. And you were actually able to see how it benefited them in real time in the Ukraine situation. You're like, oh shit, okay, we donated and it made it there, and they actually got it, and we can see in real time them saying thank you on the internet, like, hey, it's happening, you know. So, whereas
Yeah.
before, you never know where you made that donation to, where it
Yeah.
got sent, or how it got there.
Yep. And then, unfortunately, it's, hard to be like, how was it used? But that the fact that it gets into the appropriate hands is probably the most important part, because then they're making, the right decisions, and that we trust, are getting made. So,
No, that's super dope, dude. That's
yeah.
super dope. That it sounds like that's like really in your makeup. Like as long as I've known you, you're like, hey, well, how can we include giving back? So let's get into that. I want to know like the beginning of your story, bro. Where are you from? Start your whole story. How we get to here?
Uh, yeah. So, born in Loma Linda, just out there in the IE, but raised in Palm Springs. I've probably lived in every city out here, um, except the high desert, right? At
Right?
one point in time, I've probably moved close to 40 different times in my life. And so,
Whoa.
yeah, just had a kind of like real kind of tough child upbringing, and it was good, but just a lot of, uh, you know,
It wasn't short of adversity for sure.
yeah, it wasn't, in the same house for 15 years or 20 years. It was, every year the lease was up and we were moving somewhere else. And
That's
so,
big family, small family.
uh, big family because divorced family.
Okay. Common thread on the show.
Yeah,
Builds hustlers.
so I got, 5 brothers and sisters. All of them are half blood. Um, so it's big, it's extended, but at the same time, it's definitely
It has its wrinkles, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no. So that kind of bouncing around and the family situation, that kind of that that propels you into being like, how am I gonna figure it out? You know, like I don't know what's going.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not getting a. I'm not necessarily seeing a plan that they all have. But I'm gonna have to figure out a plan because I have
Yeah.
not been necessarily given a blueprint.
Yeah, and so when you kind of don't have the best direction when you're a child, you kind of end up when you get older working your way into people who don't necessarily have your best interests in mind, and
Big time.
you might get mixed up with the wrong people at the wrong time, and definitely have been there and done that.
And you don't even know it. You don't
Yeah.
even know you're at that juncture. It just happens.
Yeah, yeah. You just one day you wake up and you've kind of tailspinned into where the fuck am I? But you know that you're a good person, and you know that like this isn't like the necessarily the lifestyle for you.
Bro,
Uh,
right. Man, I think
and
everybody goes through
yeah,
that, you know,
yeah, and
especially being from out here.
yeah, and it's not it's hard to kind of escape the desert. Even though it's a beautiful place, I love living here. There's people who would kill to live here. And so I'm grateful for that. I mean, I love our community, even more so now as I get older. You know, you kind of build relationships with those people and the community, and so you kind of want to, you know, just you kind of want to give back, you know, unknowingly, because it's kind of made you who you are, you know.
Dude, most definitely. I was
Yeah.
talking to, oh, you said, you know, it's kind of hard to see like past the desert because you just see the desert, you know, like, and I was talking to uh, Carlos, and we were talking about Carlos Puente. Go check that episode out if you haven't, for everybody listening at home. But won his fight, by the way, fucking handled.
Yeah, I saw that. I fucking
Yeah,
saw
dude.
that.
But I was saying, you know, it's there's a day like, especially from when you're from out here, like you don't really see past the mountains. Like you see it on TV, you could go travel wherever, but like in your day to day life, everything that happens is pretty much related to something, a form of industry that happens inside of these mountains. So you're just like, you don't see past that, and you're just kind of like, it's hard to escape the desert because it doesn't seem like there's like you really need anything else. It's kind of just like, hey, this bubble's all you need. It's all you'll ever really need. You can be
Yeah.
satisfied or you can look outside the bubble, but it's not like encouraged, you know? It's not like pushed, especially like in public school. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Figure that out later. Go to college if you want to leave. But
Yeah.
it takes like some real foresight, especially to be like, how can I help people worldwide? How can I help people in my immediate area? And that's like comes from like you see a certain struggle here. It's not, yeah, there's a nice part. It's either you have retired here or you work for people who have retired here, and those are the two industries, you know. So it's like a very clear cut dichotomy. It's not. It's just the haves and the have-nots for sure, you know.
Yeah, and it's funny, like I go out of town and I see like all these forward thinking places, like, wow, great idea, great idea, great idea, you know, like, and so like I try and I mean, you know, that I do like digital marketing and social media for businesses out here in the valley, and so I always try and take those ideas and maybe bring them back to someone that it could benefit out here. And so
That's a
sometimes they
fact.
work, sometimes they don't. You know, our valley's kind of behind the times. More so in the last 5 years, it's kind of like gotten a little bit more progressive.
Where
And
was where was one of the first places you went and you realized like, hey, like I got to take this back to the desert. Like you saw something,
um,
you were just like, this model would work in the desert.
the model, just a lot of what restaurants do, the small thing, the details.
But
Um,
like what cities, like what area did you go
oh,
to? And you're like, oh shit, they're like the first
San,
place.
I love San Diego. San Diego just really hits for me. It's cultural, it's good vibes, it's younger.
Most definitely, it's a
It's
slower pace. It's not necessarily LA.
yeah, it's trendy, but it's not, you know, and it
Yeah,
has so many different cities within a city that you could go 10 minutes and be in a totally different vibe. Whereas LA, it's kind of the same. You know, you have to travel a little bit to
oh, you could
get
go
the,
10 minutes and be in a different vibe in LA for sure, for sure.
yes, that's true, but like you can't go from you know, the hills of La Jolla to North Park, you know, like that. But like
Oh yeah, no, most
and
definitely.
and the beach, you know, it just there's just a lot of diversity, and so I've seen a lot of places there. I mean, LA, of course, stands out to me, um, and
Yeah, dude. When
that's
I
where
was a
the
kid, one of
culture.
the first places I drove was like we drove up to like, not one of the first places, but we drove up to like NorCal, and I was like, oh,
Oh
this
yeah.
is different. But even like I'd say like as a teenager, like I went to I went to like I went to Boston, but I went to this like food hall in
Okay.
Boston, and I was like, yo, why don't we have this? Like, we could easily have, like, I would just see stuff and be like, bro, like, I could take this and make my city so much more poppin'. Like, and then I'd go to like Vegas or I'd go places with the homies or I'd be like in Texas with my family and be like,
Dude,
yo,
okay,
what the fuck?
so
Like,
I was just, and I'll just quickly touch on this, but I was just in Houston and I went to this place called the Post, and it was an old post office that was it's just like a big ass warehouse. And they created like this throwback, like in time, like 40 different small restaurants within like a few thousand square feet, like not a few thousand, but maybe like 20,
Yeah.
30, 40, but like all neon signs everywhere. Everything was neon. It was like arcade-ish looking, like
Like Grand
uh,
Central Market kind of vibe, but
yes, like taste of South Africa and like Italy and Hawaii and Thai food, and like I
that's
thought that
sick.
was so forward thinking. I was like, and it's amazing. Like
And inclusive, like so you see people and you have a way to relate when you're like, oh,
yeah,
there's Ethiopian people. Oh, I just had some really good food from one of okay, like that's like how like
yeah,
take down a barrier, be like, I don't know them, but I love their food, so
yeah.
I'm gonna accept them. Like that's America. Like it's fucking weird.
Yeah,
So that's
but
cool as
there
fuck.
needs to be more places like that for sure, but yeah, so to I guess I don't know if you like asked me that, but you know, growing up, uh I guess just seeing everything that has been given to me, I guess it's just natural to just want to give back, in any way, shape, or form. Like I've done so many fucked up things in my younger like life, like you'd be like, nah, I won't fuck with him. Uh,
Bro,
like
I think
no,
most
like
definitely we all have. For
for
sure.
real, but like and I don't think I don't like feel like I owe anything to anybody, but I owe it to myself to like do something better,
Bro, for
like,
sure.
but yeah.
Bro, I seen my homie Shake Well. Shout out my homeboy Shake Well. I saw him on a podcast say he said one of the things like I think it's part of the NA program or AA program, but he was like, do something, and I think it was just one of his homies told him was like, just do something nice for someone and don't get caught. Like, and I've been trying to like think. He's like, yo, once a week, just do something nice for someone and don't get caught by nobody doing. And like that type of gratitude weekly rotates to daily, rotates to hey, where do I see something? Just an overall mindset that's like, bro, I don't care if anyone knows. I don't care if anything. If I don't even care if the person I help out even appreciates that I helped them out real quick right now. But like I know like, hey bro, like my whole mindset is about just doing the right thing at every time, every crossroads, you know? So like
Sure,
it definitely is
when it
fulfilling.
feels right too, or like it's natural, like random acts of kindness, you get so much uh like fulfillment, like a happiness that you can't describe sometimes,
It's a
and
different high.
yeah, it is, and like you don't like forcing it. Forcing it's good, right? Because it kind of teaches you like, hey, that's the right thing to do. Because some people are hesitant when those kind of moments come up.
True.
Like maybe they're in front of someone or whatever. Um, like even talking about it is hard for me. Because I do those things that kind of in silence.
Yeah.
Um, there was one thing that happened the other day I'll talk about, but I was just getting off the freeway. I saw this person. It was freaking hot as fuck, and I knew I had like $2 in my center console, and I knew like that $2 wasn't gonna change my life, but like maybe it could help that dude like somehow. I don't think that when I'm making that decision, but it's just automatically just
Yeah, it's just a
know that
snap. Yeah.
yeah, this dude is gonna like he's gonna get maybe hopefully he gets some water, but that's not the point, right? The point is
It's
like
gonna make his day better, however
sure,
that
and if
is, you
it's
know?
random, it's like a $100 bill like floating by your feet, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, like that's great. That makes my day,
Yeah, for real.
you know. But
Dude.
I think one of those things that you can do on a daily without having it to be monetary, um, is kind of asking people like how are they doing,
Dude,
or
for
if there's
sure.
anything that they need, because maybe they're going to tell you no, and maybe then one time they're gonna actually like be honest and be like, hey, like, can you help me out with this, you know, because it builds kind of like a more of a relationship type feeling. So
No, dude, most definitely. I just actually had something today. Like, there's a guy that comes into the shop, um, and he's like been coming in since the very very beginning. Like he's
yeah,
gone from being unhoused to like having a cool trailer to living on a property. He does like night security for this property, so it works out for him. And
sick.
like through that relationship, like there's been times where he's come in and I've been like, "Yo, what's up, bro? How are you?" And he's like, "Oh, bro, I got fucked up. They took my shit. They like some kids like pushed me over, took all my shit. I'm gone, bro." Like I'm like, "Cool, got you."
Yeah,
Comes back in tomorrow, and I got it. Comes back in tomorrow, and it's gonna do that again. I'll fix it. Uh, Comes back in the next day, and he's like, "I'm like, hey, bro, like all these brands send me stuff. I made a box of shirts here." He's like, "Oh, dope!" Like now he's back on with shirts because all his backpack of clothes is gone. You know, no, Baxter, you're a crazy person. And so I, and so like Baxter's wilding over there. Little Sour Patch Kid. But yeah, like had I not really, if it was just a, hey, how are you? Good morning, whatever. What do you want to buy? That's the relationship wouldn't have been there for him to feel comfortable being like, bro, my shirt, you know? And then there's
yeah,
like today I said, hey, bro, what's up? I'm like, how are you? And he's like, I'm doing good today. And like that was a genuine response. I'm like, oh, that's
yeah,
sick. You got it all together, because he knew like when he's bad, he can tell me. When he's doing good, he can tell me. When and like it's like that relationship. I could just see him out and about sometimes and know like, oh, hey, I know that guy here. Hey, come here real quick. I got some extra weed right here for you. He's like, oh, thanks, Troy. Like, like
yeah,
it's a cool relationship because it's not always monetary, but it's like me. I got tons of weed always, so it's like, hey, bro, I rolled this joint. Do I really need to smoke all three? Like, that's my guy. Here you go. Like, I see him
yeah,
at the light. He might just be crossing on his way to the store. I'm like, yo. He's
yeah.
like, oh shit, hey, thanks. Just gone. Like, it's
Yeah,
stuff like
and you
that. It's
never
cool.
and you never know who that person is, right? Like you never know who like the person that you're standing next to is, or like
Most
the person that
definitely.
you pass in the grocery store, and like uh like it doesn't matter who they are, like they could have, like just that bond, that like connection that you make is like, I know, everybody, everywhere you go, you run into someone, like, for
Right.
sure, and like it's always a 5 minute conversation, because it's like, hey, how's it going, like, what's new and shit like that, and if it isn't passing, it's because like you really got to go or some shit
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, like, just,
That genuine connection makes you be
yeah,
like,
I think that's important, that like maybe like kind of gets lost in translation, but um definitely, uh that's, yeah, that's one thing that definitely is something that's who I am.
dude, that's
100%.
that's sick. When you like when you were coming out of like high school, we're coming out of high school, we're like roughly the same age, like socials wasn't a thing. Like, did you know
Yeah.
that marketing was gonna kind of be your goal? Oh, we also
No.
left out Andrew also runs hashtag media, like a super cool marketing social media marketing company that we'll get to. But did you know that marketing was going to be was that kind of like a focus? Were you like hustling marketing like through parties or other shit like that? Like,
No, I was always kind of like, I don't want to say hustler,
what was your
but
first hustle? What was your
I
first little,
I
like, I could get
I
money right
I
here?
probably selling drugs.
Just straight out, you're like, I got to get it. Straight
Yeah,
to, yeah.
maybe like, oh, I know what it was. In high school, it was CDs.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
yeah, so everybody wanted to listen to music. That's when I had a badass computer. I could burn tracks, whatever you wanted.
LimeWire was getting
Yep,
maxed out in your house.
yep. Eminem, like fucking 56K dial up. It took me 30 minutes to make one song. Uh, but then and then like I would sell them and stuff like that, or give them to my homies, but then like the hustle was like, I found a friend who made them, and he only charged me like $2, and I could sell them for 5.
You found
So
like a press up person right
yeah,
there.
I literally, I fucking would text him at nighttime and I'd be like, hey, bro, can you give me 5 CDs of these songs or whatever, you know? And even if I made $10, like, that was lunch. I
Yeah, for
fucking,
sure.
I didn't even, I mean, I might have barely got lunch money when I was in high school. Like, I was fending for myself, like,
Most definitely.
so, and it wasn't like a devious kind of thing. It was like people wanted the culture, and like I could give it to them back then when you had to pay $25 for a CD or whatever.
Bro, you were servicing a need. Like when I was in middle school, my aunt took me to Costco and showed me the like 20 packs of candy, and she was like, "Hey," she was like, "When I was a kid," she was like, "My cousin, shout out my cousin Glenda, she would she had leather jackets, she had nice ass shit. She's like, just because she would save her lunch money." And I was like, "What?" And so she was like, $3 a day, $3 here, $3 there goes a long way. So I noticed one day, like, we go to Costco and that shit costs $9. I come back next week, I had $10. I was like, "Yo, you buy this for me?" My grandma was like, "Yeah, I guess." And I went straight to school and I just straight was like, "Yeah, no, I'm with those kids selling candy, but I had all the candies nobody else had." So I'd have like sweet tarts or just anything the regular box the kids didn't have. I would get
Yeah,
that, and by like ninth grade, that was just like my hustle. I'm like making like a few $100 a week off that as a kid. Like I'm like, oh cool, I made like 300 or 400 bucks. Like that should be my hustle. And so by ninth, 10th grade, I was like about to get a real job. And this kid's like, bro, you could just sell weed instead of the candy. You're right. And I was like, what? Like
yeah,
I'm making a straight double up profit. I'm selling these for $2 and I only bought them for 75 cents. Like this is great.
yeah.
Like, like that was my first hustle. Was I was like, yo, I'm on these candies.
I always just like I got into like doing like selling weed too, but it was because so I could smoke for free.
Oh,
Like
everybody did. We all
that's like the reason why you do it, right? Like and it's not like I guess you're coming up, but there's risk involved, right? Like so you need a little juice on the end. So like that's just how the world works, uh,
right.
in my opinion. But
No, most definitely. It's a profession that definitely teaches you like a lane of, you're gonna make it on your own. It's cutthroat. It could go any
yeah,
way.
but then it's also teaches you that your word is all you got. You know what I
Especially
mean?
somewhere like here.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. If someone in the valley like knows that they don't fuck with you, like they don't fuck with you. And it's sad that it's like that, but it's also good because like you don't like everybody needs to be on their A game. You know what I mean? Like all the time
All the
and
time here. There's not a
and
there's not an angle you can be like, oh, that's the guy to short or that's
no
the guy to not pay or because now
and
you're across a network of people that you're now out of.
and it comes from like a genuine place.
People have a real hard time, like outsiders moving here. It's gonna be a super desert centric episode. People have a hard time moving here and like making new friends because we're just like cold people. Like if we don't know you, we don't trust you. We know, like I know the kid that's gonna fuck me over from elementary school because he's been fucking me over since elementary school. So I know him and I'm gonna deal with that sense instead of some new person that's like, hey, I just moved here from Iowa. You're like, I don't trust it. I don't know who the fuck you are, but we don't
yeah.
know you. It's hard to like people leave. People do not last here.
It's hard to come here, yep, and build a community, which is it
It's a
sucks.
good thing. It sucks, but it's a good thing. We had to insulate ourselves at some point.
Yeah, and our valley is growing so much, God, over the last like
Right? It's completely different now.
even the last 15 years with La Quinta blowing up. Everybody knew each other in Palm Springs when before like La Quinta,
Yeah,
like and it got bigger. Like everybody knew everybody. Like it was a very small valley. Like
a
even our
hundred
parents,
percent.
my parents grew up out here, went to Palm Springs High School, and there was like three high schools.
Yeah,
Like you knew everybody, and so like my parents know every fucking one of my friends' parents, and like it's weird.
it's a weird place.
Yeah, it's not the normal, but it's cool, and the people look out for each other out here. I feel the older kind of the OGs for sure. Um, like if you're 30 plus, or maybe like 30, yeah, like 30 plus out here, like, you know,
Your circle is your circle, and you can pretty much, even if your circle is not your circle, you can be like, hey, I'm gonna just shoot a word of advice or something I see, or like it's all interchanged, and it's somebody works with somebody doing something, and it's like we're in an innovative generation too, where our homies are getting gyms, our homies are all getting barbershops, our homies are all getting businesses, and I think
yeah. Yeah, the COVID kind of forced that for a lot of people, right? They had to figure out what they were good at, because
most
they had
definitely,
all this time, and they're like, "Well, what is my hobby?" And you see people who become really successful, who um, a lot of different like food pop-ups came around, and like you said, gyms and people who were really dedicated to their craft, and then they were able to monetize it, and then try and break the mold of
most definitely.
working the 9 to 5, so yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like it would, it kind of despite whatever you say about COVID, it kind of like broke the wheel of like this just is what it is, and it opened people's eyes to be like, well, I don't know. And I mean, at the same time, I mean, it had been expanding for a while, but the explosion of crypto shortly before COVID and going through COVID, like it all like blew up, and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
wait, I can go do something for myself. I don't have to be part of this structure. I can go see what I want to do and get the return. I can maybe see what I want to do and get a little more enjoyment out of life.
So, I mean, it's funny you say that, but that's what Web3 is. And I know that's kind of a buzzword. It's kind of easy for people to say. And for maybe your users who don't know what that is, it's kind of like where the next wave of where crypto and like blockchain technology is going, and more of a decentralized type of world where you have a different type of economic structure where the masses of the people are making decisions as opposed to the central governments. And so, it's going to take time, and I don't know if it'll ever be a 100% decentralization, and I don't know if that's a good thing. Um, I do probably feel one day, I mean, it's coming. Like, banks are already filing for, the government's going to have a digital currency token that you're going to spend, and like it's coming. Like
It's there, yeah. It can't be.
it's there, and so um, I I hope for a better future where someone like myself can have a cause, and they have this talent, and they can create something and do something not only good for themselves, but like good for humanity, or climate change, or and I don't want people to think like it's the next like GoFundMe.
No,
um,
most definitely. It's not
but
crowdsourcing.
if you need to have it, think about it, maybe if that's like how you do, but it's more of a way to create like a community, and an economy of things. And so uh, I think you'll see a lot of different local governments and smaller communities creating these currencies, or tokenized ability to experience the desert in a more decentralized way, where you have the power to walk into exclusive places out here in the valley, like Bighorn, or
Yeah.
places that uh, you have to have membership to, or uh, you know
Yeah,
um,
no, it will create some new communities and take down some old barriers. It'll be cool. It'll be a whole new era. Like,
yeah, it'll be like a hybrid, right, of big business and people, and
yeah.
more integrating the two, as opposed to having more power on one side. So, but yeah, I don't even know why I went there, but
No, that's sick. We're going. The Stizzy pod got you. No, dude. Like, I know. I think you're right. Like what you're saying is like, especially with like this new generation of just people, like, we're all coming up with fresh ideas, and it's kind of like at a point where it's like, how do we make that happen, especially here? Because there's like an old guard and there's a new guard and there's somewhere in the middle. And I
yeah,
think like through crypto and like decentralization, like it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it our way. Whatever. You can be in, you can be out. We're going to manufacture this, standard across humanity, basically. So it's like, it's not just about like being able to watch the Lakers game in a on a Web3
that's sweet.
platform like in VR. It's like it's about like stuff that's going to change how you eat every day and
Yes,
how
yeah.
everything's a little evened up.
Yeah, yep, yeah. I mean, and you're gonna have those metaverse experiences, right? Where um, instead of going to the Van Gogh experiment out here in Palm Springs, you can just experiment it at home through VR goggles. Like um, so everyone can enjoy it, not just select people. Or like, I mean, we've gone in depth into these kind of conversations, and I could go off on a tangent.
Right?
I feel I feel that uh, if you can build like a community-based ecosystem where everyone is benefiting from it, and you can have a frictionless barrier to um, a better life, I think uh, that's where everybody wants to go. Uh, I know
Dude.
that's where I want to go. Uh,
No,
so
I've noticed you doing that just straight away with like just with hashtags. Like I've noticed that like everything was cross collateralized and synergized because it was like, hey, these are my accounts, and how every one of my accounts can help my accounts because we're all cool, and it made all kinds of new collabs that maybe we hadn't made, but just being a part of that community of just under your brand of umbrellas is like, okay, cool, like
right,
now we're cool with the people at Elephant Car Wash or at Bonita's
yep,
or at like
yep.
it's fucking tight. Like it's super cool to be like, okay, now it's a network in the community. It's not just it's like, oh yeah,
It's not
obviously when we
every
do an
man
event
for
it would be
himself. It's cross collaboration. Yeah, it's that's the ethos of what I think everyone wants. And uh,
when you started hashtags, was that your goal kind of was to be like, how do I connect all my homies together?
no, okay, so I think you asked me this earlier, like how I think like early on hustling, like I had that entrepreneurship mentality.
Yeah.
And so when like I got my life kind of went sideways, and you know, I had to make a decision, if I wanted to change or not. And so I did, and I enrolled at Crafton Hills College in Wekipa, and I started some fire technology classes, because I don't know why. My uncle was a fireman, like men did it, and like
Oh
it
shit!
was
I thought you
like,
meant like cool, like fire, like in a cool way. Like I took some fire ass technology classes. I was like, oh
oh,
tight, but you took like legit fire.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh
So,
shit. Okay.
um, I was working part time as like an umpire, and I was going to school,
Well, that's tight.
and I, was making better decisions in life, and kind of cut the people out that I didn't want to be around, and kind of force myself to uh, just be better. And uh, I found out that I needed to take some EMT class to like become a fireman, and I needed to make like 1,500 hours up on like an ambulance crew. So I got a job on an ambulance, worked there for about a year and a half, maybe a year. I already had all my hours done, but I walked into an emergency room, JFK, one day, and one of the ER techs was like, "Hey, we're hiring. You should go put an application in." And I went from making like $14 an hour to like $30 an hour, and like I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is cool." Like that's when I really started kind of giving back to people, and like, um, fuck, dude. Like if you've ever, and not a lot of people have experienced this, but if you've ever done like CPR on somebody and brought them back to life, like that's a crazy ass feeling.
Yeah.
It's also a crazy ass feeling to like do chest compressions on someone, have them die, and then the charge nurse tells you like, "Hey, it's time to go to lunch right now. Like you got 30 minutes, come back." And you're like, "What the fuck?" Eh, like,
Dude, that's heavy.
yeah. So I did that for 2 years, and I got laid off, but because I was working for a union, like they got rid of the positions and they had like a new director, and I was like the lowest, the lowest guys on the totem pole. Um, I took like they had to pay me like a certain amount of money.
Like a severance.
Yeah, they gave me a severance package, and I cashed in some PTO, collected some unemployment for a while, and then like the union worker placed me. I found a job at Desert, and it was for a cardiac technician position, and he hooked me up over there. Real quick interview process, like they had to hire you because you were still like good on the union, like that's how they
Yeah.
work. Shit, like I qualified, I had all the certs, and so went over there, and man, I worked there for fucking 8 years of my
Just
life.
just locked in. You hadn't really thought about any of your own side hustles. It was just all like, I
No,
work at the
dude.
hospital, the money's good.
Yeah, so like five or 6 years into that, like I hated fucking going in at 7 a.m., clocking out at 7:30, sometimes working double shifts, sometimes working 24-hour shifts. Like, uh, I hated it. I hated it. I turned into an asshole. Like I was fucking short and sarcastic with people. Like it just wasn't who I was. And like, um, I I
They were
had a
just sucking all the joy out of you.
yeah, it wasn't for me. And what happened was this: like, I had gotten into a car accident, and I was texting and driving, and I
Oof.
fucking right through a red light, crashed my Lexus. It was an old Lexus, but it was nice. And I didn't have a car, and I still had to go to work. And I lived in my friend's mom's house in Indian Wells, and like her like casita.
From
And
Indian Wells to Desert is not a
oh
quick little jaunt
no,
with no
and
car.
not on the Sun bus, bro. Hell no, it's not. And this was like pre Uber, like probably
Yeah.
like barely before Uber.
This is
Uh,
pre. This is like you had Sunbus or like local bus, which isn't very efficient here, or like a taxi. Like that's it,
yeah, and
and that's expensive at that point in time.
so fortunately for me, bro, the house was right behind the Miramonte on 111, and there was a bus stop there, and
Like a major one that goes everywhere.
yep, and it's the 111, and it picked up right out front of the Esmeralda or whatever the fuck, and I would wake up at uh 4 o'clock to get on the bus by 4:30, okay, to take an hour and a half bus to Palm Springs that would get me there by 6:30, so I could wait a half an hour to go clock in,
To start
or
at
I wouldn't
7.
have made it, and I couldn't be late, so I always had to take the early one, and then I would get off work, and I would fucking take the bus from, caught it at 8, get home by 9:30,
To get up and do
maybe.
that shit again at 4.
And I didn't have a car to get groceries. Like I had to eat where I could. Like I had to eat at the hospital dinner. Like like because I couldn't go to the store.
It
Like
wasn't like you could just pull off at the store or
no,
hit the drive-through real
no
quick on the way
gross,
home.
no
Yeah.
nothing, dog. No, yeah, bus driver, stop right here. I need to do my thing. No, it was go home and that was it. And when I got like I had plenty of people offer me I got rides home like not all the time, but people would be offering
Yeah,
like
if someone's going that direction type shit, yeah.
like
By the
and I would
grace of
be
your
like, yeah,
homies at
sure,
work.
because I knew that I could ask them to stop and grab like some food real quick if they had time, and I loved them. Like I would always buy them whatever they wanted. You know, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, could we like even just stop at Del Taco or whatever the fuck, you know?
Bro, no, yeah,
And
for sure.
so that was my grind, and then that was like a 4 year grind. I did that. I rode the bus for 4 years, like straight.
Dude, that is dedication.
And in the halfway of that, like I would work graveyard, so I switched my shift because it was getting too hard on me, and I could get around and I could do stuff during the day and then work graveyard and then just fucking I slept. Bro, I would sleep on the bus home. I would miss my stop. I would miss my stop a lot of the times that I just fall asleep just like sitting like this in the back of the bus, and like if the bus driver knew me, he would like stop for me, like he'd
He'd be
like,
like, "Hey, yo, it's you. Hey,
oh yep, and I would sit right next to him, like
dude."
because I knew like he would just be a G and to be like, yo,
Yeah.
and then I just
You're like, I have to get off at I
yeah,
have to get off at Cook
yeah,
Street. Like, please get me off. Like,
yeah, and so that was my grind, and then like I saved up some money, I got a car, um, and that was a blessing, and then
and all
uh,
those things are like incremental to you
oh, it's so
digging your,
huge.
like you're like, I'm just gonna keep putting together little hits and we'll get a run. It's not like I gotta hit a grand slam right now. I'm just gonna keep
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
hits and I'll get a run.
yeah, and you know you fucking have your bad days, and you know and every day on the bus I would look on my phone for fucking cars. Like,
Bro,
oh
that's the motivation. As soon as you get
yeah,
on the bus, you're,
oh my
yeah, I
god,
can't, I'm
yep,
not doing this another day.
yep. So
But you
oh
did
then
it
I
for
get
4 years. Like, you just,
yeah.
you know?
So I got okay. So I got a car. Okay, then my homie and I had moved in with my buddy who lived right down the street from work. So I was close to work. I could get to work in my car in just a few minutes. And I would ride my bike sometimes. And my homie crashed his car. And he really needed a car. And he was going to give me a pretty good amount for mine. So I ended up selling him my car. And I thought, like, I'll just take an Uber every day, or I'll ride
Yeah.
my bike to work. It was like literally a 10-minute bike ride. I was good. 4 years I didn't have a car.
And
Uh,
now you're right. You're less than a couple miles.
yeah,
Right.
and I took the money and I blew it. And now
How old were you when that happened?
now I'm taking an Uber and a bike to work every day, and now I can't even go downtown or do shit. I gotta ask my
How old
homies.
were you when that happened?
Bro, I'm in my 30s, bro. Like,
So,
no, like,
bro, like we all fucked it off. Like that's one. Like it doesn't matter if it was like 10 G's or $500,000. Everybody in this age range is like, yeah, I fucked it off. It came.
yeah,
I fucked it off.
yeah. And so I ended up fucking I was friends with everybody like at the hospital and even the doctors, and my homie that I golfed with all the time, we were golfing one day and he's like, hey, he's like, this guy's car is for sale. It's a Lexus, like you see my old Lexus.
Yeah.
Tiffany bought it for fucking
Yeah.
and I walk in, we're golfing one day, and I was like, how much for your car? And he wanted like 6 G's for it, but it was a 2003, like 40,000 miles on it. And I was like, damn, this car is fucking, it's so nice. And
Dude.
I went the next day and I was scheming like, oh God, how am I going to get fucking $6,000? And I got the number from the guy and I said, you know what? I was like, if I can get $5,000, I was like, will you sell it to me cash? And he's like, you know what? Since you're Ben's friend, and he thinks like he says yes, then I'll do it for you, because he's this old timer. Like he just wanted to get rid of the car.
That G didn't make a difference too much to him. He just
And
wants to get off
he
the
was
work.
helping me out. You know, like
Yeah.
he was paying it forward to me. And dude, I fucking that day I fucking one of my like really good friends. His name is Dr. Chakrabarty. Uh, he comes into the nursing station one day and what's up, Dr. Chak? I was like, what's up? Comes over, we're talking some bullshit or whatever, and I was like, hey, I was like, if I pay you back like $500 a month for the next 10 months, can I borrow $5,000 today? And he fucking didn't even bat an eye and he said, sure. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. So he literally went, wrote a check for me. I went to the bank, got the cash, slammed the $5,000 in front of the guy and said, give me the keys. And so he gave it to me. He gifted it to me. I didn't have to pay the taxes on it.
So solid.
Yeah, and I had a car again. I was so happy. It was like the best thing ever.
Did you appreciate it more?
Oh my god! Oh fuck yeah!
It's crazy. Like not even the second time. The third time though is really when you start to appreciate it, right?
And I was like, you could be making better decisions this time. And so, man, I got the car. Fucking loved it. I had a little bit more motivation in life, and I was like, what can I do? You know, and like I started dating my ex fiance at the time, and we were driving out. I had so much freedom. The day I met her, can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So the day I met her, bro, I didn't even have a car. I think the reason for my motivation of getting the car was because I had this chick now, and I needed to be able to like make moves, you know, and like I think that was like a weekend, and she didn't even know. I had to take a Uber to her graduation at COD. She thought I drove, and then like we were leaving. She's like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave, and she's like, you don't want to come? I was like, no, I'm gonna get an Uber home. She's like, oh, I'll just take you home, and I was like, all right, fine. So we like went, and so that's when I knew I needed a car, right?
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, this almost caught up to me right here. Like this, I was so close to going left had I not had the right answer.
And it was scary. It was scary because you don't like want to be embarrassed about I own a car, you know. But I didn't care. I was like myself, and so I made that play, and I had this extra motivation in life, and so her birthday was coming up, and we ended up like taking a drive, and I just remember like how freeing it was to like just be riding around, and like a few weeks earlier, like I just was hating my life, hating my job,
mad at yourself for the way you had made some decisions, basically.
Yeah, and I remember going into like I remember just thinking like, man, like no one, and like Instagram was a thing now, you know, like it was a thing and people were using it, and this was before stories came out.
Okay.
Way before stories. So just photos on a chronological timeline that if you posted in the morning, that post was getting seen in the morning, you know, like back when it was like that. And so I was like, man, these businesses aren't using it. Like, and I like taking photos and shit. I'm pretty good, I think. And like just about nature and just like my life experiences and stuff. And I always would take pictures of my food wherever I ate. And I was like, man, we were driving in the car and we're going down to Santa Monica. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to do social media for like local small businesses out here. Like, I'm just going to do it.
And you're still at the hospital, but it just hits you.
Yep, Yep. And fucking, she's like, then do it. And that was like the most encouraging thing. And I think this is the most important part here. The most important part was that she believed in me, and she was able to say, you know what, I believe in you. I know you can do it. And and like that's all it took, right? It didn't take 5 million people. So that night, dude, when I got back, I had so much, I couldn't sleep. I started making looking for logo designs, and I didn't really like. The next day I went into work, I was like trying to think of names, and I couldn't think of names, and I was just writing a bunch of bullshit down, and it takes 1,000 shitty ideas to come up with one really good one, right? And I think that's also the most important part is like you can't get discouraged when you're trying to do something, you know, just because like you think no or someone else says no, it doesn't mean they're right. Like, and you know, a lot of people are like their toughest critics, and so I was like, I'm just gonna try it. And like I knew that I kind of knew people out here in the valley, and like I used to be really antisocial. I was really fat as a kid. Like I got made fun of in middle school. Like my least favorite school was fucking Nelly Kaufman. Like I went to
Okay.
I went to Nelly Kaufman, bro. Like, and then you've been there, you've been there. Like that shit's in the hood. You know, you know, uh, bro. You want to know where I lived growing up? I grew up in Thousand Palms. Okay, in the
Okay.
fucking the end of Monterey, till it dead ends. You make a left, and there's my house. So in the back, at the very end, next to the dirt. Okay.
Bro, Thousand Palms, but we're not talking about Thousand Palms now. We're talking about Thousand Palms like fucked up gravel,
Like
like
35 years ago.
we're talking about Thousand Palms, like none of that new industrial shit, none of that shit off the freeways, like in and out. That was it, and a Domino's, and then like fucking not really like pavements. Like shout out to
Bro,
like when I was little, I used to go to not like little, I was probably like 10 or 11. I used to go to a. My mom was learning sign language to be an interpreter, and the lady that would teach her lived in Thousand Palms, like out there, like like just before, I guess what would have been like IVTHC eventually, just before like that area, you make a left, and you shoot kind of by the post office, and you just shoot out there like a few streets, and it was like, bro, like stray dogs constantly, like
oh yeah.
no sidewalk, no, like it's just
Oh,
dirt on the side of the road. It's like it's just a wild, bro. That shit's like wild on that side of the freeway. That's like a third.
oh yeah.
That's just like the Wild West for sure. Like you're
Oh,
like, what is going on? Like, what
bro.
is even happening out here?
My mom probably ran over like fucking 10 dogs.
Jesus Christ! R.I.P. those
Uh,
dogs.
RIP to those dogs. Bro, my grandma's house was on my grandma's house is on the corner of Ramon Road and Monterey, right across the street from the Circle
The
K.
Circle K.
Okay, that fucking place has been held up so many times when my dad made me go walk across the street to get Dr. Pepper. Like, I literally walked up to a fucking hold up, and I'm like, I'm just so lucky to not have been killed in that fucking Circle K.
Bro,
Uh,
that that's definitely a crack in Circle K. Like especially before there
it's
was like
that.
bars and those little like sandwich place and stuff there. It was just that Circle K and like
It was just that
one
Circle K.
gas pump. I don't think it has a gas pump anymore, does it?
I don't even know. I
I
haven't.
think they took all of that out to like limit the customers. Like, nah. Too much was going down.
No,
They were like, nah,
it was
it's
bad.
active.
And I don't even know how the hell I got there, but or why I was even talking about that, but
You were talking about Isaac. We got there because we were talking about Nelly Kaufman.
oh
We're
yeah,
talking
so
about before that
so
that you
I
were at a
went
place where you were starting to like
yeah.
hate everything. You were like, nah,
So,
like
so middle school, like I would move from back and forth with my mom's and my dad. And my dad lived in Thousand Palms, and my mom would like move to Palm Springs or Palm Desert or fucking La Quinta. And I'd always like, I don't want to live with you this year. I'm gonna move back. And so like seventh grade year, I went to Nelly Kaufman. I got made fun of. Fucking like I got
where were you
bullied
before
so
that?
bad.
Where'd you come from before Nelly Kaufman? Where were you sixth grade?
Uh, I was in Gilroy, the garlic capital of the world, and hating my life at some shitty middle school that no one knew who I was.
Bro,
And
so
then
you come back to so it's not even like you were like, oh, I got my homies for that. At least someone, hey, remember when we went to
bro,
Raymond Cree or James Workman?
bro,
You came from Gilroy back to
so okay,
Nelly Kaufman.
so I went to first school. Then I went to Athena Academy, where Flat Black Shop is right now.
Okay.
Then I went to uh, Landau, and then I went to Sunny Sands. Okay, and
Okay.
then I went to Barstow, in
Okay.
a city
The
called
original
Silver
home
Lakes.
the original home of Del
Del
Taco and
Taco.
Bakers.
Fuck yeah, that's the best one for sure. And then we moved to Gilroy, and then I fucking moved back, and I went to
Gilroy's a tough place too. Like that's a lot of migrant workers and
yep,
yeah,
It's by Salinas and shit.
yeah, it's tough.
Good. Yeah,
It's not like
it's kind of a middle
a blue
class,
collar.
yeah, blue collar. So I came back. I went to I said, fuck this. I'm moving back. Went to 6th grade at Nelly Coughlin, got made fun of. Then I went to fucking Raymond Cree for like 7th and 8th grade. And then I went to Palm Springs High
Builds
School.
character. You
Yep.
went to the two builds character middle
Oh,
schools.
and then my freshman year was at Palm Springs High. And then I moved to San Diego. I went to Point Loma High School. Okay. And then
What was that like? What was that jump from like Gilroy and Palm Springs, Thousand Palms are close.
oh
Sandy, now you're at Point Loma. You're like, oh shit, it's military
yeah,
kids. It's all kinds of kids. What was
yeah,
that? What was that like to go
hot
down there?
chicks everywhere.
You're what, 10th grade, ninth grade?
Yeah. I want to say my junior year ish, the beginning of my end
Okay.
of sophomore, beginning of junior, like summer or whatever. Like my mom's ex husband like got like a work transfer down, and like one stupid fucking night, he's like he works for the Gap. He works for like retail, da 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 da. He ends up being like general manager of the Gap, and they want him to be a district manager. And they gave him like 4 different places to live. And this is a true story. So they have 4 different places they could go, and he was gonna be a regional manager. And it was like San Ysidro. He did all the San Diego stores. It was up north, like in NorCal, San Francisco.
Okay.
Others were in a different state. So it was 4. We had just gotten a little cat, and the little cat was a little baby, and like you know how like
A little kitten.
yep, we put the names on a piece of paper, put it in a ball in a hat, swirled it around, then put it on the ground, and wherever the cat went first, that was where we were moving. Bro, so we go. My mom picks the first one. It's like Kentucky. Just like fuck that.
I thought it was gonna be like San Diego, and I was like,
No, the second one. The second one was another one. She's like, "Fuck that!" And then she saw San Diego, and I guess at the like, he wanted to like surprise her, and like it was always gonna be San Diego because they gave him a job there.
Yeah.
But it was just like so funny.
Dude, that's fucking hilarious.
The cat did not pick where the cat did not pick where we lived. But
Kentucky and San Diego are very different.
San Diego was cool, but I didn't catch vibes with anybody there, and like I didn't like.
How long were you down there?
Not even a year, bro. Like, so that I was 16 because I distinctly remember, I hated going to school. Like I wanted just to go to the beach or do nothing, like whatever. I didn't like my mom's ex-husband. We didn't get along. I just fucking hated his guts.
Well, he was fucking leaving you up to thinking like the cat was deciding your future.
Yeah, he's a fucking jackass. God, where was I going with that? So, right after 9/11 happened, like I was 16, and that shit happened, and like I went back to school, and like I was just like, I don't want to fucking be here. And I went home one day and I was like, Mom, I want to go live with my dad again, and I want to go back to high school where all my friends were at, where I could play baseball and shit. And so she said fine. She drove me down on a Friday night one day. I went to the Palm Springs High School football game, hung out with my boys, and then my mom drove me to my dad's house with my bags packed. I walk in, and he's having like candlelight dinner with like his ex-wife at the time, like in the
Wait, he didn't know you were coming?
No, my mom just said, "Here you go, motherfucker." Just drop me off.
Okay, up till then though, you moved back and forth hella time, so it was like planned out. By this time, they were like, "Hey, it was pretty regular that you had just ran its course. You were gonna come back at some point."
Yeah, and like I would always, like, you're right. I would always go back and forth. So it was just like, it was the normal. And so I enrolled back at school, and it was like the end of my junior year. Went through summer there. Went to Palm Springs High School senior year. Graduated. Made some pretty cool friends. And little did you know,
what was your dad's reaction? Just like, God damn it, Andrew.
Oh yeah, he's like, what do you do? And like he kind of blamed it on me, but I was just like, I don't want to fucking be there. Like I didn't have any friends. Like, like it's just hard when you move around and stuff like
Of
that,
course.
and you just like can't connect with anybody. And so, um,
So you just went back. You did senior year here. You graduated.
yeah, and
You made
then
some lifelong friends and shit, and then
kind of, but like like you run into the people like you get to know like you fucking hang around with like Marcel, and you run into like Adam Gilbert, and you just you don't know them, but you know them, and you know of
yeah.
them, and they know you, and like the like I grew up like Cat City, Palm Springs, so like people I grew up with when I was younger was like Sean O'Neill. I don't know
Okay.
him. Um, like just a lot of people who played sports.
Yeah. No. Most definitely.
And so life was fun again, and then we graduated, and then it's like, what the fuck do you do? And then you go get a
His
job.
dad was a PE teacher, right?
Yeah, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, 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 yeah. Shout out, shout out. I was like, wait, his dad was my PE teacher. All
Yeah, he
right,
was a
yeah.
Raven Cree PE teacher.
Yeah, yeah. I had him like seventh or eighth grade, something like that.
Yeah, he was also the PE teacher like at Nellie Kaufman.
He had a sick ass ponytail, and he
Yeah.
like, dude, like that dude was like, he had
Oh
thick
yeah.
ass ponytail, big ass Oakleys every day. Like, what's up, Solomon? Take a lap. Like, like he was on that shit back then, bro. Like,
Oh, and he had his whistle. He fucking loved his whistle.
bro, I think that dude played like D1 football somewhere, if I remember, because
Oh
he had
yeah,
like, he played at
he
like a BYU or something
he
crazy.
was a yeah, yep. He was a big dude.
Big dude.
Big dude. He played softball with my dad.
Oh, that's
And
crazy. Like in like a adult league.
yeah, oh, like professional like softball, like traveling teams and stuff like that. He'd
Oh
hit
shit,
bombs.
yeah.
So one,
Oh, like those leagues, which is like long ball, like 36 to 50 fucking
um,
softball games.
and me and the kids, or the people who had sons. You grew up together, and you fucked around with them.
Running around on the side outfield while you're playing the game, waiting for
Yep,
the lights to turn off and shit.
yep. That was a big part of my childhood. Was going to like my dad's baseball games and just being around like fucking guys and spitting and slapping asses and like you know what I mean? Like
Like that
uh
was like your general upbringing.
yeah,
Was it?
sports and
Dude,
but yeah.
so you were talking about how you're like you grow up and you grow up around Marcel and
Mm,
James and those kids and you're like, dude, what's up? Like I know you guys, like like Adam, and you're
yeah.
like and then it's we grow up to this juncture where like and like us then and us now are all completely
So
way
so
different, you know?
funny story about Marcel, and if he watches this, he's gonna
Shout
laugh.
out my guy Marcel. Shout out Gabinos. Go check
So
it out.
me and his cousin Jay Riz knew each other, and uh, I was friends with Sebastian, and we would kind of like hang out and party and go to all the uh, like fucking house parties and shit like that with uh, like all the ogles.
Yeah,
Uh,
that whole generation of people.
Yep. Yep. And fucking one night, this motherfucker decides wants to the one night that I take my mom's car out, like that she never lets me drive,
It always
we
be
go to
that
a
night.
party. This motherfucker takes out a paintball gun and starts shooting my mom's car up with a fucking paintball gun. This kid. But you know what? He
Dude,
was
that's hilarious.
he was always funny as fuck, and I love that he was just himself, and um, I grow up and we lose contact, and so kind of like take it full circle. The very first client that I got for hashtags was La Bonita's Mexican food, and this is in 2016, and the Rahis are family with Marcel, and
Yeah.
basically, and he would be around all the time, and we would talk and just catch up with one another, and how's everything. I knew we'd see each other all the time, and social media's around, uh
Well, yeah, because you're doing social media.
Um, like I think you know, I think we all go through our struggle, and
Most definitely.
uh, we all don't know what other people are going through, and I've watched Marcel from the sidelines, um, just because I love what he does for our community, our especially our homeless community.
Most
Um,
definitely.
he he's something else, you know what I mean? And
No, one of the
I
most solid dudes. You know what I'm
I
saying? Like,
I'll be honest with you. He's probably one of the reasons why I love giving back to our community. And I don't think I've ever told him that. But I do. I watch him. I see what he's done. I see how what he's creating, and I love it. And his mindset is something that I hope most people will look up to, and I know they do, and I know he's like an integral part of our valley.
oh
Um,
yeah, no,
just
super influential, whether
yeah,
you know it or not, or even realize it or not. Like, the avenues and lanes he's pushing are reaching people that ever see it. You know, that he might not ever
yeah,
see, or might
and
not. Just like you might not ever
he
say that,
will
but
never talk about it, bro.
100%.
Never. That fool moves in silence. He you know he can deploy.
He's the embodiment of do something nice and not get caught.
Oh yes, 100. And
You'd never know till it's
he
done.
has such a big community that would deploy for him uh, at the drop of a hat, if he ever needed anything, or you know what I mean. And so that's the kind of person I strive to be, someone that people can rely on and be there for. And I definitely try to embody that kind of mentality in my day to day.
Dude, no,
That's for
most
sure.
definitely. He's one of the most solid individuals. We need to get him on and get a solid episode, but he's busy as hell, you know, like, but
Yeah, yeah.
dude, like,
He's hustling.
I
He's
could say
hustling.
likewise. Like, I'll take the opportunity to also say likewise. Like,
Yeah.
there's stuff where I've been like, yo, bro, I don't know how to do this, but I know you know how to do this. And he's like, oh, that's easy. Just do
Yep.
this and this and this. And I'm like, oh, tight, sick, because I didn't know how to do that. And he's like,
You
oh,
could
bro, I
call
do
him
this.
right now
Yeah.
and he'd be like, "Oh, bro, I bet I'll be there in 5 minutes."
Yeah.
Like that. Just like you would for him. And so I think that's just that's what I love about just this overall community out here. And there's a disconnect because of the generational gaps. But I'm hopeful for our future, if there's more people like him.
Oh,
Um,
no, dude. Like,
so
bro, like there's people where I'm like, you know what, like, and I mean his story is so unique and his story to tell for sure. Um, but I think that there's people where even people that are in my family where I'll be like, you know what, I wish you could just go spend 6 months with Marcel. Like, hey, what are you doing? You need a job? Like, you should go apply at Capinos. Like, cause in my head I'm like, go spend 6 months over there, and just see what you could do by just waking up and deciding that you're like, hey, I'm gonna bet on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and be all in on yourself in all ways, and hold yourself accountable, and be like, you know what? You need an accountability buddy in life. That guy.
dude, that's underrated. Like having someone to hold you accountable. That person for me is my sister,
Dude,
uh,
that's dope.
and we kind of like that for each other. And like if you are out there listening and maybe you have a hard time holding yourself accountable for things, like don't hesitate to find someone, because
For real.
they're out there looking. They'll be like, yeah, I got you. Like, let's go work out together, or let's go have food, or let's go do like whatever, and then once you start giving your word, and it comes more valid, and then you're like, you don't want to break that, and like you don't burn the bridges anymore, and your life gets better. Like
Dude,
one
most
like
definitely.
one little better decision at a time.
Dude, that's and you guys like even just to touch on that, you guys have even taken your business in the last 6 months to a year leaps and bounds. You know, you're like, all right, we're organized, we're taking on now. I have this accountability buddy where also we work together and you can, you know, you guys have each other's back. Like, you know, okay, well, at least me and my sister are. I don't have to worry about an employee that's not as dedicated to this because it's a real family thing that we're pushing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're here. We're all a family. I think the time that we have in this life is so short, uh, and some people think it's really long, but it's not. And like your like accountability buddy doesn't have to be your family member.
Yeah.
Um, I'm grateful that mine is, but I just think that uh, you're happier because you're less stressed out. Because you have someone to talk to, or I think
Oh, most definitely.
mental health is the most like undervalued thing. Like I think that we take for granted like day to day. Um, but that's I guess that's another topic.
No, bro, but it goes hand in hand because it's like that shit's like maybe something that we don't realize how much it affects like other aspects of our lives, other decision making, like our own mental health, our own like self speech type shit is what propels us or halts us, you know, and like I'm sure you could look at points where you were on the bus where your own self speech got you motivated to keep getting, you know, like even if it was seemingly negative at the time, it motivated you out of it was the reality. It was the okay, well, hey, this sucks, and what am I gonna do about it? And it wasn't that it took amount of time. You just kept chipping away at it, you know, and that's what's important. And I'm sure that those lessons fast forward to, you know, had you sat and been like, no, I'm not going to do this, you wouldn't have had the motivation to go get the car that second time to hold yourself accountable by telling Doc like, hey, I'm gonna pay you back in this plan, and this is, I'm gonna make it happen because that's my word,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, to the
yeah,
point where fast forward where then you see Marcel, you're in that same circle, and he's like, no, I know he's good. You know, now we're doing this, but I know that he's always good because I would know if he was bad by now, you know? Like,
yeah,
so it's cool, you know? And so, like, stuff like that starts to trickle over where, you know, like we get introduced, and I'm like, well, we're connected, so if you're good, then you're good, you know? And
yeah,
at this point, if you were going to torch everything down over one small relationship, it would be like, bro, why? Like, I have so many other connected relationships. Like,
yeah,
I'm, you know, it's like, I'm so, if we're going to do this, we're all going to do it, you know? So it's like, it's,
yeah.
it's like a very unique situation.
The To touch on the kind of self speech thing, I think that's so important. A lot of people are so hard on themselves. I had a friend reach out to me today or yesterday and ask me about ways it can help like her social media, and she very hypercritical of herself, and I just told her she's doing great, and um, I don't know if that helped her, uh, but I hope it did, because you just you could say like, oh well, I don't look good here, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I'm not good at it. Um, right away, that's like you're already like you're setting yourself up for disaster. Like, um, like speaking things into existence and
Super
manifestation.
huge.
Those are things that they exist, and you can't see them. It's like air, right? You don't see that, like the wind is blowing, but you don't see the air moving.
A
You
hundred
know,
percent.
and so like you kind of just have to your energy every day is just kind of who you are. And uh, I get told all the time that um, people can really feel my energy, like if I'm in a good mood, or I'm in a not so good mood, or um, and those are things that I've been working on to kind of keep a better balance, and stay kind of just more in the flow of just like knowing that like everything that we do every day is like meant to like happen. And you know just
Dude, what do
yeah.
you do when like, and not to like interrupt, like not really pivot? I think they go hand in hand. What do you do to like not get in that? Like, what do you do to free your mind outside of like, I mean, like look behind you. There's like 100 customers on that wall. Like so it's like you get in a. I find myself in like a mindset where now it's, you know, 10 o'clock and I'm still doing shop stuff. It's like what do you do to give yourself that mental break and like let yourself recharge? What are like your
Oh
outside
gosh.
of, you know?
Music.
Dude, that's tight.
Music fucking saved my life, bro. I listen to music all the time. If you're feeling down, listen to music. If you're feeling up, listen to music. I Some of my favorite artists right now are like house music artists, like Fred again and Polo and Pan. And I've been listening to like just a lot of different types of music.
Right,
Different,
opening your horizons.
different sounds. I think sound therapy is a thing.
Oh, for sure. Super big vibrational shit coming from music and like the
Yeah,
kind of vibrational music you put in and put out. Like that's super real.
yeah, yep. The input and the output is the real thing. And it's I think I found that more so over like the last year, because um, I would I would I would deal with all of that, and then I would go home and take it out uh, in places that I shouldn't, and that was a negative thing. And then like because I've been doing this since 2016. And when you work every day, uh, uh, 10 hours a day, and I'm not complaining because I'm not working at the hospital anymore.
Right?
I'm not working that. I don't have to go clock in. I don't have to clock out. I don't have to take my 15-minute break when they tell me. Um,
You
I
don't
don't
have to
need.
do
I
CPR.
need to go to the bank today, but I can't. But my boss won't let me. Like, I'm very fortunate in that aspect in life and time, and so I don't really like. It's a grind, and it wears on me. And my day to day, sometimes I might be up, or it might be a little bit more like down and tired. Um, but
But music
I
gives you that kind of way to.
music, yeah, music fucking gets me through it. On my drive home, I fucking listen to fucking like just whatever I'm feeling. Um, Sometimes I sit in my car and I drive in silence, and I think. Um, but
That's super real. As like I caught myself listening to a static station today. Like I was I was going back between like my phone and Sirius,
yeah,
and like I was hitting source and I was just like hitting source. went to it went to like an AM station and like baseball was on and I was like, I don't bro what, like at first I was like, oh, it's the playoffs, and then I was like, bro, I honestly don't want to listen to even hear this dude right now. And I just hit down and it somehow just went to a static station, and I left that shit from like San Pablo to like almost in front of like Jensen's. I was like, dude, am I just listening to like it like clicked. I had just been thinking about what I got to do today. Okay, I got
yeah,
Andy tonight. I got this. I got the next part after that. All right, cool. I got that. And then like it just clicked that I was like, bro, it was nice to just think for like 20 minutes. Like that was sick.
yeah. And it's really hard with a lot of things going on to prioritize and then compartmentalize things and get them done in timely manners. And um I think organization is really big for people. Like if you're having a hard time and like I forget stuff all the time, so that's not gonna say anything. But I try and stay organized with my thoughts more so, um, because I think that's important too, because a lot of people have these anxieties of things that they have going on in their life, and it's really hard to prioritize those things and in time. And people go through shit every day, bro. Like, and you don't even know it. You just expect like them to give you like the best service at the restaurant and shit, and you're like, bro, do you like maybe that lady like maybe like some bad customer service, great, like it's her job to do this, but or his or whatever, but like what if something happened like earlier that day where like they're really like having a bad day, like so just like I always try and like be very aware about those things. I think self-awareness is probably one of the biggest things that's contributed to me being able to kind of stay focused on what really we're trying to do, and that's just survive life, bro.
Bro, right? Like,
We're just
one,
trying to
it is
survive,
not
dude.
a given that tomorrow is happening, you know?
Dude, just go through life and let it just happen. Take the opportunities when they can. When there's fucking yellow lights, hit the brakes and slow down. They're stopping you for a reason. You know what I mean? You
Yo.
don't always got to be in a rush to go places. Like it's all good. Like you're gonna get there, because then when you get there, you're just gonna want to leave again. And
You
then
never know what, like, rushing that 1 second, what you just changed by not just going with the flow of it. You know, like,
I think about that all
everything,
the time.
butterfly flex out. Like, like it could have.
I think about that all the time, and I know a lot of people do too. And they worry about stuff, and uh, you know, music takes your mind off a lot of things. You'd be surprised.
Bro, for sure, for sure. I just saw recently you went down to Crossed. How was that? That one of the
That
sicker
was
festivals you
sick.
went to this
It's
year? Or
like it's
what would you say
yeah.
the best live music you went to this year was?
Oh, I just saw fucking Tin Liquor in Bauhaus in Houston, and
Oh,
I
that's tight.
I walked up to like the front of the stage to get my sister a video so she could see like whatever, and like I walked right up to the fucking DJ, and I walked right behind the DJ, and I was just standing there behind the whole night just filming. That was so sick.
Dude,
But
that's so tight.
yeah, I'll show you the videos when I see you. But Cross Cross was cool. I saw Fred again. I saw him I saw him at Coachella, and then my sister missed him, and I was like, "You can't miss this." And um, we had some friends go down there. We stayed with them. It was real quick, only 2 days, one night thing, like
It's
up
a
and
cool
down.
little weekend festival.
It's like a mini Coachella, um, and like the music's good. It's got it's techno and house, and
Yeah.
so there's no you know there's no like
It's kind of like it was kind of almost like we kicked it at Splash House too. It's kind of almost like
yes,
it's a lot closer to
yes,
Splash House. Like it's
yes.
like a equal sized Splash House.
It's like a Coachella splash house, but
Yeah,
small
but small on
in
the
one
beach.
place.
Yeah,
So like it's a cool vibe. It's really small, really cool. Yeah, and you could walk around and drink everywhere and
I
shit.
think there's been a cool resurgence of like DIY kind of smaller festivals, smaller groups putting it together and being like, hey, we're gonna be tapped in, but also
Yeah,
like it's kind of like a smaller insulated
yeah.
thing, that works. I
I
think that
like
shit's gonna be cool once the desert can like get out of some of their relationship based events.
yeah. Um, Yeah, that's for sure. I think the valley has so much potential to grow, and I know it will. I can't wait for hockey to come. I know
Dude, that
how
arena is gonna be tight. I'm
super
excited for
sick.
that.
We got to go to a game.
Bro, I was just thinking earlier today that we gotta go to I don't know when the opening is like right now, huh? It's like soon.
They're still finishing it, but it's soon.
But
Yeah,
I think like the season for that starts in like November for AHL, like after they make kind of like their final cuts. for all the NHL teams, then I think everybody rolls over to
I
AHL's
think
like
yeah, I
early
think they're just
November.
finishing the parking lot. Like I think they're totally done inside.
Dude, we
Like the
gotta we gotta
outside
roll
looks
out to opening night deep.
that would be fun. I think that would be cool. You know,
I think
uh,
that's gonna change the way that the desert operates. I think that's gonna change the way that opportunities operate. Like, I
yeah,
think there's so many like,
and so
just
many jobs too for
dude, a
people.
ton of. I was just talking to the homie. He drives to Ontario to work at that arena, and he's like, dude. I was like, yo, are you gonna work at the new? He's like, yeah. Like, it's also a Live Nation place, so a lot of people like will bring in a lot of
Yeah,
touring acts, and it's always filled with conventions and
that's
shit.
gonna be sick. They're
The
gonna have some
economy is
pretty
gonna.
cool. They'll have some cool concerts there.
Oh, for sure. I think there's gonna be so much cool stuff like because it's gonna take some real organization to get it happening anyway. So like I don't even care.
Like
Like
they'll have DJs there. Like they'll have
oh
big
yeah,
DJs there.
but
I
even like it'll be sick to get a box as a DAO that has a box, and then you can have like an NFT pass to come use the box and reserve it throughout the year, and then we're just basically reflip. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
there's
that
gonna
type
be
of opportunities are gonna go crazy.
bro. I'm telling you, a local token community that like
We're gonna do some cool shit,
owns like restaurants and golf courses and just everything to do around here, dude. And we'll be
dude. I
able
think it's
and
gonna like,
that money that we'll be able to make, we'll be able to go to do some really cool stuff for people like fucking my homie Dave from La Bonitas. His fucking house burnt down
dude. I
the
saw
other day,
that,
bro. Like, imagine if we had funds in a DAO to vote on it to be able to give him enough money to like put him in a house. Like, what the
dude. Right?
fuck, dude?
Like,
Like that
and that shit's super doable. Like you know.
oh, it's happening, bro. We're doing it.
Dude, shout out Dave, shout out the whole family over there.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers, hopes everything's fucking
I
working out.
I I cried when I found out. Oh, that was so sad. I called him immediately and I said, "How is Zane? Are you and Zane okay?" And frantically, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, we're okay. Like, thank God we weren't in the house. Like, uh,
Dude,
his kid was with someone and he was working, and like yeah, it was just nuts, dude.
dude, it's crazy because that type of thing like happens, and like we're all one step away from being in that position, you know. And if we could have some kind of cool community based stuff where it's like, hey, we're like our own philanthropy group. We're not
Yep.
some government based thing. It's us being like,
We
hey,
don't
we
need to
see
wait.
something,
And we don't need to wait for the city to help or
boom,
organize. It's
clear
like
it up.
yep, it's like what can we do now? Like immediately. Like if we had a community DAO and we were able to and this happened, we would be able to get him funds immediately.
Dude,
Um,
yeah.
and we'd be able to release that immediately.
It's
And
not Ukraine. It's like just our community, and like everyone could do
yes,
that in
it's
their community. Like it's doable
helping
for everyone. Like,
it's helping the homeless. It's providing food for kids. It's getting uh, somebody some help. Like um, for instance, you know when you know we had those two officers die, you know, years back. Like if we could have done something for their family, you know, like maybe we still could. This is the type of thing that you know we still can do,
and
and
the
it's
coolest
definitely
thing that we
possible.
could do is that the community can vote on it. So it's like, you know, it's not just like one person's idea. It's like, hey, we as a DAO decided we want to put it towards this. There's 3 votes. The votes are up for the next, you know, 72 hours, and we can
Yeah.
see the percentage, and we can all see it, and it's fair, and it's really, it's a real, you know,
And then
what is
there's
it,
other things you can
democracy?
do with it. I mean, you know, you can fund businesses with it. You can create a DAO to do new housing projects for low income or homeless. You know, like there's so many things that you can do, especially if you're not in a decentralized world where you're not dependent on a government making the decisions. Where you as a community, as a whole, can come together and you know have a voice. And so that I think is the most important part.
It's not just crypto casinos. It's like which are cool, which are
No,
fun, but it's like, um, But but it's like, hey, there's like good stuff that can come out of these projects. There's if you just are willing to look at that in your brain, if that's how your brain operates, then there's a good out of every project you have, you know?
Yeah, and
Dude, that's so tight.
it's gonna take 1,000 bad ideas to come up with one really good one. And of all people who comes up with ideas, you're the guy. Like we got together 2,000 ideas combined.
Oh,
So
dude, for sure.
we'll figure something out.
Oh,
And
dude.
like honestly, um, I just think I love where I live. This will always be home, whether I'm here or not. Um,
Right.
always gonna, this will be like number one in my heart, and we'll always like just try and do whatever we can. And I think we still continue to do that for even the guy who comes into your store and you ask him how he's doing every day, or it's me helping a business owner survive another summer in Palm Springs, where
You know,
every everybody, when I was a kid, the every business would come, summer would come, and they'd be gone. New
bro, for
business,
real.
summer, gone. And I don't want that to happen. Like, we want to have staples. We want to have a reason for people to come travel and spend their money here. And like,
Dude, I think like the cool thing is like, you pivoted to like, I'm gonna help these businesses, and I don't think we even realize that like we are the people that we've gotten behind in like, hey, I want to make sure that this dude wins and this dude wins and this dude wins, and like let's all win together. We are reshaping kind of the path of this region, and I think like that's, and I think
yeah,
even for we're reshaping this region, and that's even kind of a dying thought, because the next generation of kids have seen what we'll do and be like, yeah, we're fucking out of here with this shit. Because watch this, we're about to connect and make a travel circuit, and we're about to get people moving, and it's gonna be crazy, dude. Like we're laying the groundwork for something we can't even see yet, you know?
yeah. And um, yeah, you're right. It's like laying like infrastructure for things to happen in the future. And I would love to, I'm gonna be a part of that. I'm gonna try to do what I can to kind of be um, someone who's done something for the valley, um, to leave an impact, positive impact. Because, dude, we know so many just people in this valley who know so many people in this valley, and like
Right.
together you can make something really like big happen, especially with the amount of um, people who are just, this is their home, and there's so much money out here. Like, how is it not how is it that we're like 20 years behind LA in
Dude,
everything that we do? Like,
at least 10 to 15 for sure.
okay, well, I was exaggerating, but you know what I'm
No,
saying.
for sure. I'm not giving them that much credit, but at least
Like,
like
we just now got
infrastructure
Chick-fil-A.
wise, yeah.
We
Yeah.
just now got Chick-fil-A, bro.
We don't have any outdoor, like we don't have any market, we don't have any like market, like we talked about earlier, where it's like an open air market. We don't have any like consistent shit like that. Like we don't have a consistent night market. We don't have like an industrial fucking container area, dude. Like,
Yeah. It's Palm Springs, bro. It's like set in its ways, and it's just that kind of like just old school mentality, which is not bad, because with that kind of comes experience and wisdom, right? So, uh, but you know, we're here to build an economy and make it a better place, with businesses that are probably like doing better and like
in an
giving.
ethical way.
Yep, yep, exactly. And I want to see the small businesses win that had the idea, because like Smoky Lips Barbecue, like fucking Perfect Pint Ice Cream, like I want to see businesses like that win,
Dude, for
because
sure.
it's the only way that we're gonna build each other up. Is like,
Dude, most definitely, dude. Like,
so.
dude, dude, what are your socials? So, like, maybe if you're a small business owner that checked out this pod, like, they can see what you're doing, or like where some brands you fucked with and have carried through. Like,
Yeah, so if you're looking in Web3, on Twitter at hashtags media with a Z. On Instagram, the same. We focus a lot in working with small businesses. We actually just got a new client a few days ago. We'll have to go there and check it out if you want. It's called Tequilas in Old Town.
Dude, let's
Um,
go.
it's so good. They just like revamped their menu, and so yeah, we
Dude,
just
let's
started
do it
working
next week for sure.
um, but yeah, just try and help small businesses with either creative content side, just platform management. A lot of, you'll be surprised how many small business owners don't know how to access their Yelp page or their Google page, and even just post to their socials. Like um, it might be simple for a lot of people, but for somewhere it's not. And like a lot of the business owners out here in the valley are investors, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They're old money. We want to put our money into something that's going to bring back a return. Let's open X restaurant, have someone run it, and then make a monthly income from it. And so um, I love working with the small business owners that are forward thinking and stuff. And uh, but everyone needs help, and there's a lot of different people out here who are doing the same thing, and they're making it too. I'm thankful and grateful that I can help support my family with a job. Uh,
That's
you
so
know,
tight.
like you know, I never thought in a million years like my dad and my sister would be working for me or with me.
Dude, that's so
Um,
cool.
it's cool. It's
Family business is challenging at times, but also you can trust the people who are with you.
yeah,
You're like, all right, well,
yeah, yeah, and they've been a huge help in kind of relieving me of that kind of daily stress that I used to have, even though we still have a lot of stuff going on.
now
But
you can kind of grow the business.
yeah, I mean, I want to grow, but at the same time, like I'm really trying to move. Not I'm not actively trying to move into Web3, but I'm trying to build in there and like kind of like notch out a little space for me,
Yeah.
and be like an influential voice. And um,
What
not
did you
like
say
it.
your Twitter was? Because you're always on your spaces and you're always giving
Oh
out
yeah,
Web3 game.
yeah. It's hashtags media. I'm on fucking Twitter Spaces like every day. I connect with people from around the world. There's actually a convention in Vegas going on this week called WebEx. Our co-founder Amanda Terry is speaking there on Thursday morning. On Wednesday morning or on Thursday morning, I'm gonna go up for one night, go hang out with everybody, watch her speak in the morning at the convention, and come back home.
Dude,
Um,
that's tight.
and I get to meet up with all those people, and excited about that. I've met so many like amazing people that
Dude, we got to start a Web3 pod, like where we just only talk Web3 stuff.
oh, dude, it would be really
Let's
fire.
go.
Yeah.
Dude. Hell yeah, bro. Well, that sounds tight. Like, that sounds tight. Like, that Vegas trip's gonna be tight. You're gonna keep expanding your horizons and shit. Um, Bro, thanks for pulling up to the Downstem. That's
For having me, man.
bro. That's again hashtag medias. What were you
Yeah,
say going?
hashtags me. No, I was just gonna say like we always like have these conversations, but this was kind of more candid, and like comfortable, and so I was like, it's uh, thanks for all your questions and like getting me to open up and think about things I haven't thought about in a very
Hell
long
yeah,
time.
bro.
I thought it was very entertaining. I
Bro, hell
love
yeah!
it.
Thanks for going down this journey with the like sharing it and like, cause, dude,
Yeah,
I think like the
I love
one
what you're
thing.
doing, bro. Like I love it. I love it. Like you're not hesitant and afraid to like do it, and like that's the mentality you need.
Dude, I appreciate that. Like, I just hope that like any of these episodes like give some kids some game, give some kids like a plan where they might see some shit where they're at that juncture where like this isn't yeah, shit's fucked up right now. Like everybody I've had and everybody I'm gonna have, like there's a juncture where shit's fucked up. Like in my life, there's plenty of junctures where shit's fucked up. But I want people to be able to look at this pod and be like, oh shit, okay, like yeah, my shit's fucked up, but there's another way. You know, if there's 1,000 episodes, then there's 1,000 ideas. You choose which one is good for you. You know, like if you're at 0 ideas, scroll through and see what Andrew's got to offer. Scroll through and see what G-Shock's got to offer. Scroll through and see what Greg or Carlos or Michelle or Stephanie, like it's gonna be dope. You know, it's like, oh dang, okay, I turned here. It's not over right here. I can pivot and do my own shit and be on my own path. I'm not just stuck in this wheel, you know? And so I super appreciate that because that's my goal.
Yeah, and just keep pushing, and I'll do a little shameless plug here. If you want a minute on Chain Chopper, follow us on Twitter, on Chain Chopper. Hit the link.
On Chain Chopper, hit the link.
Yeah.
Bro.
It'll have utility, bro. If you have
for sure, we're gonna.
Chopper, you're gonna have some utility.
I can't wait to add some utility to it. Let's come up with some cool ass ideas.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Do some cool shit at the lounge or something.
Yep. Yep.
Hell yeah, bro. All right, cool, bro. Thanks for fucking with the Downstem. #media, my bro Andrew Smith. We're out of here. Later.
Later, bro. Talk to you.